Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show with Smart Robie. Now, of course, the attention now is back to us again. It's what's going to be happening as we seen last Friday, the Dow Jones fall some more. After what I've seen to be a 3 weeks down, it's been down 3 weeks after the so-called announcement of the US Fed and also the inflation rate. Now remember, September 13 will be likely the date of the announcement of the inflation. So we'll probably see this downtrend, either a bias to the downside, a little bit more down more to it. But what's good about last Friday is the US employment did increase, but the factory numbers output has decreased a bit more in here. But more on this morning breakfast show, and thank you for sharing in here. So we're going to be looking at a couple of stocks and some of the review that we have also last week in here. Now let's get on to our breakfast show in here. Now, of course, you can get download a copy of our Smart Robie, and also this week we'll be releasing new features of VSA 360 and a little bit more on Smart Robie too, if you do notice some of the charts that we have in Smart Robie in here. But let's take a look at what we have. Let's switching to a wider chart here this morning, in our KLCI hitting the KLCI market here, and such that let me just wait. Yep, there you go. Last update about 10:13. The market is down 2.83 in here, and if you look at the chart here, you can also see. Right, let me just extend it, and this is what we talk about, a live update of KLSE chart in here. You can see right now we are having a test, and it's important that this support is maintained here. Right, we don't want to be breaking back to the 1460 in here. We still have a green pentagon, but it's not a great green pentagon. And we have seen in here today also the topic and also the title of this talk is September month, one of the most bearish months that we are likely to see in here. And let me forewarn you first, September month is always the bearish month, and the KLCI that we have right now on the right hand side, on the left hand side of the screen, you have seen it's holding up in there, partly as the only reason is because of the GE 15 that is pending a lot of news. So a lot of people are still sort of want to be in the market and still waiting for the show to start. Now let's take a look at what we have the remaining. We have PBB, big decliner, MPI, Pet Dark, Gas Malaysia. So we have one is Panasonic Malaysia, United Plantation is up, Gas Malaysia, PNB Tech, and Heineken. Okay, and for that one, then the others, we have some of the big volume in here, VC, SNS, which is newly listed Focus. But I want to take a look at Gas Malaysia 5203, which is one of the stocks that we always talk about in our breakfast show. So let's switch on to the bigger chart here. You can see Smart Robie, and again you can see this is a very nice one in here, last updated 10:14, which is about 4 minutes ago, and you can see the chart likely to retest back the uptrust. So this is again a live chart for the Smart Robie, a new feature, and see whether you notice for the remaining of those in here. But later on we'll do a more official announcement in here, but that will be a good takeaway for most of you which are here today. Now let's take a look at what we have this morning in our breakfast show. Definitely, first of all, is more sharing, right? More bearish months. As I said before, the topic for headline for today is the most bearish month for the month of September we have seen before, and this is also a special thank to VSA 360 for doing the analysis and the number crunching that we have. So market is mustering back to stage 4, as I said before just now. Let me just bring back this chart here, scroll up. This is the KLCI. No, this is not the KLCI. The KLCI is this chart here, right? You can see just on top of me here, and you can see mushrooming down, and we have higher volume, which is not present right now. You can see, let me just switch to the wider chart here. We don't have a higher volume in here, so we don't have that sell-off that we've seen in here. But again, if you do have that higher volume breaking down, very likely you'll see a red pentagon. No doubt the KLCI futures is already on the downtrend in here after a good run. So if you have any stocks, please take some profit in here. But if you have not and you're looking for a longer term buy, do look at the Robie FA stock, which we are due. And as a beginner, we really encourage you to use the Robie FA stock to provide some sort of dividend coverage. We'll give you that. And we'll be looking at some of those that we discussed also. Now, if you have any shares that you want me to look at, do pencil those in there. And I'm happy to look at them for you in here. And of course, all things being equal, right? The Pentagon Guider, which is powering the Smart Robie. And also you're getting the live chart, the update. You can see 10:15 over there. So many of these chart will also be that. Also, let's take a look at the so-called intraday too. And be interesting to see where they are right now. Oh, we got a few in here. Vin Invest, SK Sharp, Able Global. That's the one which is hot. And I like that, 7167. And go on to stock chart, stock comment in there. And looking at this chart in here, hitting that one. And you can see, whoa, look at that one. That's 1019 in here. And this market started to push up, you know, like a rocket ship after the green Pentagon in here. So follow the smart money, like what Tom Williams said, and benefit from Smart Robie guidance on the chart in here. Now, of course, the KLCI Pentagon Guided trading portfolio using real money, we are still in it. And we have one trade, which is still in pretty much. Let's look at D-Sonic right now. Okay, and that's the chart that we have. And that's the stocks that we're looking at. And also IJM is sort of losing ground in here. And let's look at D-Sonic. Yes, there you see we have a couple of tests. That was last update 10 o'clock here. Test. And remember, some of you may ask, how often is this updated? At least every 20 minutes. Okay, the earliest will be 20 minutes. Some will be a bit longer depending on the response of the server in here. We got two tests in here. So it's finding resistance to take out the last upthrust that we've seen on the left hand side in here. IJM, okay, IJM, check it out in here. And let's see, IJM hitting the stock chart here. And you can see this one's not updated yet. You can see the last two tests there. If you don't see any time frame in there, means it's not updated yet. And the other one is Chrono. And looking at stock chart, stock comment here. And again, this one is, yes, it's updated almost 10 o'clock. So you can see Chrono is pretty much flat out there, not moving at all. You know, try, but still stay as green Pentagon in here. Okay, if it does break the ATR stop loss, we have to exit. Okay, so right now is 50 half cents. It could not go higher in here, and this is also due to the US market, which is what we are seeing right now in here. So a lot of these are taking an order from the US market. Now, if you like to follow the Pentagon Green portfolio tracker in here, you can check it out from in here. Some of the episodes we have featured in here. Let's take a look at the KLCI chart that we have so far, and this is from last week. Switching to a wider chart in here, and of course right now we can see that live data, it's holding above the support at 1470. All right, this is the 1470 level in here, and the resistance is 1500. Again, one upthrust, 2, 3. This 4 upthrust seems to be the showstopper that is preventing this market from moving high. Should the market break to 1480, which is right now the 40-day moving average, and the 20-day moving average, which is the monthly, seems to be a resistance. Now take note, the market is still pretty much in a nice railway track up here. So what we can say likelihood is this market is going to be moving in a sideways market. Okay, so this sideways market is likely to continue, as I said before. And tonight, do take note, the US is a Labor Day, so the US market is closing, so not much of a market. So we will see market probably close either higher or slightly lower for much of the day. Now, if you look from the KLCI previously updated, but of course the latest will be here. Let me just take a look at the chart that we have, the KLCI here. And previously was, you can see the difference, right? The chart earlier was a green, blue candle. Right now it's an orange candle. It's tested in here, still holding that level in here. And we want to see whether it can hold or not. All right, let's take a look at the charts we have seen so far. Market stages, pretty much in, if it does break below right, it will point to a stage 4. 4 uptrust with a resistance at 150, widespread bar a couple of Friday ago in here. So we want to make sure that. Now this is the tall tail sign, and what we talked about earlier on, that the KLCI for the month of September, you have noticed, right, 2020 was the worst. And we're still going on that one, the law of large number return. Okay, only we see a little bit of recovery back in October, and November is another very whitewash in here. Only month of December, that's the one early, so which means if you want to take a couple of trades in here, courtesy of VSA 360, that's the one you were looking at the month of September in here. We got in the last quarter, coming into the last quarter of the year in here, you could see yearly return is pretty much on the negative. Grand return, we've been down almost last 6 coming to 7 years. So it's been a real challenge for many of you who are, you know, investing in the KLCI market. And foreign funds flow continue to flow outwards. We did have one going back to September 9 in here. So net outflow are barely holding on in here, and pretty much of KLCI going to be depend on this so-called, you know, foreign funds either buying or selling. So we do hope that more of them will be buying than sort of selling in here. And again, it's all going to depend on the US side and how the dynamics of the political situation that we've seen in Malaysia right now. Okay, of course, more will be much better when they buy, and then we'll see the KLSE. So the VSA 360 does give you a pin image of this as we see this market flows right now here. Okay, now if you have any stocks that you want to be look at, do pencil those in there, and let's move on to next. Now last week we did look at two smart Robie charts, as I said before, for beginner. Pretty much of this morning section in here, we focus on this chart, Chinwell and Amada, which is the 29, and we also been doing this morning. We did see a few stocks did come out in our screen here, so we want to be we will be looking at that one too. Last week, the 29th of August, you can see from here, right? We have Robie spotted at 176. This, and then he did hit high, right? After the smart Robie spotted Tuesday, jumped up, and then quickly it came back down, and that's usually been the tone of this market. Any stock that push up immediately will be distributing quickly, profit taking, and that's pretty much what we have seen right now. And also we have the resistance at the top in here. Chinwell, it does have very good. Let's take a look at Chinwell right now, and what is the stock prices now? I think still 178. Yeah, 177 in here. So it's still range bound, right? Having said that, let's look at the fundamentals. Now, Chinwell is rated 4 out, a pretty good one. PE of 5. You can see average sector is 47, just on top of me here. So that is pretty good, but it's undervalued. Safety margin. So it's priced at 7.5 times PE. You can see from here, giving it the $2.40, but right now it's only 178. So that's the top 3 shareholder: Benoit Handal, Samarantang UCIS, East Spring Lot, small cap has it in here. So that it does pay 7% dividend. Okay, so it's a dividend player for those of you who want bit dividend coverage in here. But on the technical side, you can see the market stages has crossed up here above zero, but it hasn't spiked yet. So that means this market can still hold on at this level in here. The other stock they were talking from last week, episode 186, was Bumi Amanda. You can see by the time when we were talking about it, Robie spotted at 40 half cents, which is the time during when we're doing our morning breakfast show in here. Did hit high of 43 cents. That was a 6.1% potential profit of 300 ringgit. So this market, again, market stages indicator has not crossed above the zero line yet. Right, you can see once it's spiked up here, that's where the market move up. All right, so you can see right now has just pulled back in here, and all prices again has pulled back since it started to move up in here. So we have to see whether Bumi Ambada like the rest of the oil prices. Can they make high? Let's take a look at this morning's the livestock prices. And this morning is almost unchanged at 40 cents here. Okay, some previous stock that we have going back to episode 1585 was Globetronics. You can see 1255. That was on this here. You can see right after the green pentagon, right? The market green pentagon, it did build up higher, kick higher, and oops, sorry, let me just bring that back. And I think it hit about 131. Okay, that was pretty good. And you can see right now the market is moving along below the zero line, so that's not a good thing. As I said before, this is due to the overall downturn of the overall market. But Globetronics, let's check out the fundamental, since this is FA collection stocks. Here we have the dividend of 5.9%, pretty good, better than what you're getting the banks, rated 5 out of 8 here. Okay, then you have the other one, Matrix Concept, which is one of the better one. In the property sector, the market stages has also crossed the zero line but hasn't spiked yet. You can see it is well supported in here, and you could see after this was where the green pentagon happened. You can see episode 185 here, right? And to show you the market actually spiked up and hit 2 ringgit 41, a high of 5.7% with a potential profit of 285 from a 5k gate. Still going up, as I said before. The railway track is up, hasn't spiked yet. Okay, so that's the positive news going forward. And let's take a look at Matrix this morning. Switching to a wider chart here, and you can see Matrix is 2, 3, 4, up almost 1%. Okay, up almost 1% here. Okay, so that is the so-called only positive things that we've seen so far. Okay, now let's move on to next. What we have here, the Smart Robie FA, and one of the way you can use this is go on to the main menu. You can see there, and right in the middle, Robie FA list. Now there are two stocks this morning, Prestima and B Auto. There's any of the FA intraday alert, so pretty much nothing is moving in here. Prestima, I don't like it because of the spike of. Let's take a look at Prestima first. Right, I prefer B Auto. So you can see from here, this is where the green pentagon spiked up in here, widespread bar, and usually widespread bar not a good sign. The market can come down. If you are more experienced, you want to take this, but take note of it. Now the other stock that we are looking at was B Auto 5248. So let's look at B Auto right now. You can see this chart in here. After hitting green pentagon, a sell-off in here and holding up still at 180. Let's look at the stock price now. I think still thinking about 180. Yeah, unchanged, up 0.6%. This is one of those good fundamental stocks. And oh yeah, there you go. Pay about 4.8% dividend. Okay, rated 6 out of 8. And ROE of 24. Of course, many of you may have read some of the news, which is the chips that is not enough. You can see here on the right road with substantial booking, August 2nd, poised for technical breakout. That was July 28. Did it break out July 28? July 28. No, it's still hold on around the 190 level in here. So car orders are pretty good, okay? So that's for B Auto. So in summary, as I said before, the more market corrections ahead, we still stand by what we seen last week. Talk about the Smart Robie month of September, usually bearish. You have seen, courtesy of VSA 360, the seasonality month. Use the Robie FA list to correct it. And if red pentagon is here, do honor it. Market sentiment doesn't look very good. All right, we are still sticking to the overall market will recover coming to year end, but it'll take a longer time frame in here. And as such, some of our members, those of you who have joined us, have taken that challenge way back in June when the market was down. They were able still to perform, beating the KLSE, which is down 2% in here. And that's one of the way to do it, is to trade intraday for those of you who are more active trader in here. Like you can see some of our 3 winners in here doing substantially well, mentored by us and part of the program that we want you to go through to our winner. Congratulations again in here. The RX up 28% in here, and while KLCI is down 2%. Now a special offer together with the Malaysian Day. If you sign up for the VSA 12 months, you get 2 months free membership and a 1-year pass of Smart Robie apps worth 1,300 ringgit. So that's a great deal in here, and it's only up to 16th of September. All right, take note of this one in here. So sign up for VSA 360, 12-month membership, the coaching and so forth, and get 1-year pass of Smart Robie apps. All right, take note of it in here. And of those of you who have signed up for our masterclass, we thank you for your support in here. Next masterclass will be sometime in October with the futures pullback and also the US portfolio in here. Lots of great thing in here. And this is the calendar that we have for the month of September. That's right, for the month of September, the first 2 talks will be done by my fellow trainer Zach, and the last two, 21st and 28th, will be the new feature which we will be releasing this coming Friday. That's right, this coming Friday, the new feature in here. So we'll be sharing with you in here. But some of you may have seen it in here, but I did talk about it last Friday. New feature including the visual trading plan, the live charts that you've seen also in Smart Robie in here, and also the risk to reward plus the enhanced chart lookup when we were doing the intraday. So more on that on this coming Wednesday. So make sure you join us in here for our 360 something in here. And of course, today biggest takeaway, you stand to win a 3-month membership of VSA 360. Just review us in 200 words or less on the Google review, and if you're good, then you get to use the new features that we have on our Smart Robie as well as the on the VSA 360. All right, and don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter in here, and subscribe to also to our Smart VSA 360 YouTube, so not to miss it. And if you're ready, join our program, our plugin in here, as low as 2 ringgit per day for all the mover advantages in here. And thank you again for your support, many of our members in here, and great review in here. So we'll be looking at some of the stocks that we'll be having here, and if you have any of those, do let me know. All right, BJ Food. Now BJ Food, Mayfun, well, look at it. Let's take a look at BJ Food. So BJ Food looking very, very, how do I say it? Attempting to it in here, but take note, there will be probably some profit taking around the $1 here. All right, it did try up here. A lot of the time, market will range bound. So if you did hit here, you want to take a bit of profit. Right now, it's breaking up. That's a good thing in here. You can see resistance, right? So a lot of profit taking on the backdrop of what we see on the KLCI. Now, this is the KLCI. You can say it's retracing back at 50% mark. So which is generic. The levels that we are seeing it continue, still have this bullish theme that we have right here, right? Retracing 50% in here. Hit the 31 right now is about 1470. So this morning in here. So I said before, if you break this 1470, then looks like the market is likely to go right now. Okay, we have PP Jack. All right, PP Jack hit green pentagon. Again, you got this upthrust here. Another upthrust, so lots of resistance, very similar to BJ Toto in here. Now, the stock that you want to look at, you can contrast its metrics. You can see how metrics, there isn't any much upthrust other than this 2 in here. And it's like lifting higher. You can notice the low is going up in here, right? The railway track, notice in here, 2 are going on up. This railway track is actually moving sideways. So Papa Jack's seems to be moving sideways from now, Kevin, in here. All right, check out our 360 for the free trial in here, and don't forget 1 year unlimited usage of Smart Robie when you sign up for our VSA 360. Great deals in here. Thank you again for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram channel and share our Telegram in here for all things great. And I'll be back with you on Wednesday for our morning podcast. Thank you for watching, and thank you again.